Oh,
Oh, that's crazy. Attacking my ear hair is longer than the battles that take place in Robert Jordan.
That's true, because
right.
there's something weird going
where,
on.
Where
it's
this
Adam.
Freak.
No.
Anyhow.
Adam just sitting on the toilet going.
See, this is how loud you normally
I
talk.
thought that organs were going to come out.
Oh.
I'm like, I have nothing left to offer.
Adam, I had that for 2 months.
I have nothing to give you.
Porcelain god.
My God, my king. I've given you all I have, and it's just like, no, you haven't.
Is this what you want?
There is still more.
Welcome back to the Jack in the Shadows podcast. I'm Eric VC, and as always, I'm joined by my favorite mac and cheese, the VC boys. Say hello, Dave.
Oh, I'm going to be the cheese that I can't eat because I'm the glue that holds it together. Return
I
of
think
the
this is
Mac.
like the fourth time.
That I've said mac and cheese or that.
No,
Every time we say
that
Mac,
song's been
somebody
brought up.
hits that song.
Yeah, I
Yes.
sing it, and it's like, oh, man.
It would not be me. I would go with
That's
Mac
too
the
bad.
Knife. I would not go with Return of the Mac.
Not quite the
I'm
same zing, Mac the Knife.
No.
I don't have the same voice. to put
Not
that
as
one
much
on.
pepper.
Oh my gosh.
no, not
Here
that.
we go. More.
All right, we still haven't introduced Adam, though. That other voice you heard, that sounds like
Well,
this,
yeah, we have. I'm Mac.
He's the Big Mac.
is Adam.
He's got the special
What
sauce.
does Mac do?
All right.
It says, "Hey baby, how you
it's
doing?"
the noodles.
macaroni. I'm the Roni. I'm the noodle.
It bathes in the cheese.
Yeah, that's right.
True, I do soak it all up.
I give you the
what a good life
sauce.
I have.
The sauce.
Pour that cheese over me.
We
Pour
are
that
in
cheese over me.
We are in episode 44, covering chapters 43 through 48 of The Fires of Heaven, the penultimate episode for this book. We'll start this
How
episode.
excited were you to be able to say that?
Well, I had to look it up first because I couldn't remember what pentultimate meant.
Instead of penultimate, yes.
We will start this episode off per usual with our investigation of the different plot elements with our view to Dragonmount. Then discuss our favorite moments of these chapters and
Is
what
it view
shook your
to
willow.
or view of Dragonmount?
It's actually view from Dragonmount.
Oh,
You would think that I would
okay.
remember the segment names. that-
After all these episodes we've done,
Like
Okay.
I said, we'll discuss our favorite moments of these different chapters and what shook your willow before moving on to a thorough discussion of the Lord Dragon and Get Randy. We'll follow that up with digging into our lovable rogue and taken to the Matt. I feel like every time I refer to Matt, I call him the lovable rogue.
he's a
I need to-
rapscallion.
Yes, there we go. Our rapscallion du jour.
There you go. Douger. A rapscallion douger.
And then
I'll
we'll
have
see.
the soup douger.
We'll see what's happening with our female wanderers in Full of Ship before wrapping. That was ship with a P. Before wrapping up with our Coplin of the week and who leveled up. All right, so let's dig into our view from Dragonmount. We start off with chapter 43, This Place, This Day.
Dave's favorite chapter title.
Yeah,
Is it
so
really?
let's
It is.
discuss this chapter title a little bit. Did you guys notice that that phrase is used in some way, shape, or form 3 different times in the chapter?
I didn't know it was thrice, but
Yeah.
I knew it was used, and I was like, ooh.
This is the only chapter that I can
Goosebumps.
think of where he keeps using the idea over and over again. The other chapters he's said, on
Sometimes.
occasion. Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Not every time, but every once in a while you run into it. But this one, he keeps hammering on it each time. Brand says it twice and Matt says a different version of it once.
Yeah. Obviously, a momentous event happening in this chapter. Or events.
A momentous thing happening on this place and this day.
Right.
In this place
Or-
on this day.
And that place at that day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we're here inside the chapter.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay.
So
That's
Rand,
all I
To
have
this
to
place,
say
this
about
day.
that.
When did you say exactly Rand had said that before?
no,
No,
he
he
hasn't
says it
said
in
it
the
before.
chapter. He says it twice in the
He
chapter.
uses the phrase twice in the chapter.
Oh,
And actually, he doesn't use it. It's used in the narration.
Actually,
regarding,
yes.
his inner
Actually.
monologue, I think. So Rand wakes up and wonders, as he has before, if the events that led to this battle could have been prevented. This is a constant theme for him at this point, is wondering if he could have headed off death and destruction that he is about to bring. He sees the Aes Sedai clan chiefs and hears that the maidens are unhappy with the task assigned to them. This is also becoming a trope where the maidens are unhappy with the fact that Rand treats women differently than he treats men.
There's some sort of rebellion going on outside somewhere where he is because the maidens are not happy.
Yes.
As
Then-
is the huge.
When leaving, Lan asks him why he still wears a sword and if he plans to seek out Couladin. Oh, yeah!
Kool-Aid Man.
And
yeah.
Rand says no, but he will be prepared to fight him. We get confirmation that Asmodean gave Couladin the dragon tattoo.
Have I not my wand?
So we've been wondering exactly, how he got the henna tattoo that he has of the dragon reborn on his arms. It turns out, he got it from Asmodean, Rand's best bud.
Yeah. They're chums.
I thought we already knew that happened.
We
We
suspected.
suspected we didn't have
Yeah,
firm
yeah.
confirmation like we
We
do
still
here.
don't really know how it worked, but
No. Well, I just said it's a henna tattoo.
It's magic.
right. They had a romantic evening together. They were drinking wine spritzers. It was in the middle of the day.
Is that
Some
what happens with wine
enchanted
spritzers?
evening.
Probably not
I
right
got
there
wine
with that,
spritzered up and
but,
tattooed.
You will
You
meet-
get the picture.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on any toes.
I don't know if that picture makes any sense, but you're all right.
They leave the tent and are surrounded by the angry Far Darazmai. Sulin informs them that the maidens will escort Rand, Egwene, and Avienda to the tower, so she's not having any of his directives. The maidens will be involved! You will have the maidens!
They will. There will
Despite-
be involvement.
Despite previous plans, Rand acquiesces. So
Yep.
Rand, Egwene, and Avienda walk to the tower Rand is constructed and accompanied by the host of Far Darazmai. Egwene and Avienda develop a storm over the Shaido, and the battle begins. Lightning begins to strike down on the Shaido, and earth
I have a
begins to
question.
fly into the air.
Please. What is
Wait,
your
I have
question?
a question. This guy who built the tower for Rand before, have we-
Torvin?
who is he?
He's the spyglass builder.
He's the local ophthalmologist.
He's just okay. We might have talked about that already.
He makes
so
Ben
forgive me.
Franklin's his glasses.
It's the name of one of the chapters. It's Tovin or Tovine or Kintovir.
Nestle.
It's the
Yeah.
craft of Kintovir is the chapter. So his
Nestle
name is
Toulouse.
Oh,
Kintovir.
yes. Okay, I do remember that.
Yeah, we read this book.
Yeah.
Egwene
On
and
this place and
Avienda
this day.
develop that storm. Rand starts alighting hills with balls of flame using memories from Lews Therin on how to use the power.
That'll end well.
We get the first full-on reference to the Eye of the World prologue, where there's an actual reference to recollections of Lews Therin from that moment.
And Ileana, my
Yes.
love.
Well, the death of Ileana through his madness.
And her golden hair.
Yeah.
It seems no one is questioning why Egwene can use the one power to fight. Like, this battle goes on, it ends. Remember all that speculation we had about her and whether or not people would figure out that she was not an Aes Sedai because she'd be using the one power? Nobody wonders about that.
No one being the maidens. So do the maidens or the wise ones
The
really
Aiel,
know
right.
enough about that
Yeah,
to
no,
know?
I mean,
I
the
guess
Aiel
not.
don't know.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, it's weird. But also, Avienda is kind of having the same. She's like almost going full.
Right. Well, she's in the thick of things, and she's not a wise one, so she shouldn't be doing that. But they're letting her.
But she's kind of like, maybe I am a wise one.
Matt is on his way south when he spots a group of Shaido waiting in ambush for Wyramun's command. He rushes down to warn them of the news of the waiting ambush. He talks to Estion and Melonrill.
Potato faced Estion.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
Let's
Jordan loves referring to that potato face boy.
I really want to know what a potato
He
face
has
looks
a-
like. Is he
respect
just
on that face.
lumpy?
Bulbous nose.
He's lumpy.
A flat face with a bulby nose.
Yeah. All right.
Wyramun, we've learned, I think we've heard a couple of times now that Wyramun has been sent to see
Yeah.
the pirates in Tyr. That's how Rand has gotten him out of here.
Yeah, and then he's going to next go to the Babes in Toyland.
Matt
Adventure.
tells Talamenis to proceed through the gap and perform a hedgehog maneuver against the Aiel.
Oh no, it's not Talmanis that does
I
the
know it's
hedgehog
pretty
formation.
Sweet. They know
It's
how to do it, though.
it's
He
the
tells
guy,
Telemanis, it's not
the pike
Telemanis.
guy.
Matt
The rat.
lays out his
I thought
plans
the
to
rat was
Telemanis, who agrees on the condition that Matt lead the men to the other half for the other half of the maneuver. Matt is
Matt's
given
just like,
command
"You
of
be there."
400 Kyrianen.
Pretty sweet.
Not a small number.
That's going to be my next movie. It's going to be 400.
The 400 Kyrianen.
No, just the 400.
Yeah.
The fighting begins and the hedgehog maneuver is performed, but some of the Tyrant lords choose to fight outside the box.
Fight.
They didn't do
They're
it the
thinking
right way.
creatively.
They get massacred to the man.
Yep, and then, that's what you get for thinking creatively.
Swarmed under a pile of Aiel.
Melonrill is one of the lords who chooses to fight outside the defenses.
He
and
loses the rugby
Matt
scrum.
sees him die as soon as the battle begins. Matt leads the horse charge into the fray with a cry of Los Cabadrin! And
Which
lightning
means
begins to spike down amongst
Spare
them.
your forks. Chow on the mac and cheese.
Horsemen forward. Let's go. He's very comfortable.
Yeah.
That takes us into chapter 44, The Lesser Sadness. It's approaching midday, and Rand has been channeling for hours straight
With
using
no
the
Gatorade.
Buddha Angriel. Rand's
fat
left.
little
That thing
man.
has gotten around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rand has left Asmodean in his tent, too afraid to use him in the battle. Several armies of Aiel, around 3,000, approach the open gates of Cairhien, and in a desperate effort, Rand sends lightning in amongst the Cairhienin and the Shaido to prevent the Shaido from entering the capital, and he kills his own people along with his enemies there. Saidin, lightning strikes down and destroys the tower with Rand, Egwene, and Avienda in it in a surprise move.
Yeah.
Rand's first thought is that Asmodean has woven the lightning.
It was like a bolt from the blue.
Yes.
Literally.
I did not see that coming.
Rand concludes
Neither
that
did Rand.
Samael has sent the lightning, and he's known the man has been behind the pirates.
Well,
in
first he
Tyr.
thought it was Asmodean.
Well, that was
Right.
after he grabbed the girls, one in each arm, and just bounced out and was like, no big deal.
He's a
just got two girls in
strapping
my
young
arms.
lad.
Just hanging on to one of the posts of the tower as it goes careening to the ground.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you were here 2 seconds ago, but I lit that entire place on fire. There's a mountain there that's not there anymore.
Right.
Did you see that? I just did.
Did you see that one? Oh no, you're just looking at the two girls in my arms. That are
Those are the sweet nothings
Just
he's
you
whispering.
wait. There will be more to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember the original, some of the older covers for these that looked like they were like Harlequin romances with Rand like posing like that with his shirt like cut down the middle, and yeah.
It's one of the reasons I started covering up my books was I couldn't get that out of my head when I was
Oh
reading.
yeah, I have them. I have them over in the other
But now
bookshelf.
looking back at it, I'm like, it's kind of sweet looking.
I have those. Yeah.
I want to see that cartoon.
Those are like from the early 2000s, I think. I saw them on the paperbacks.
Oh, you're talking.
Yeah.
They're not the originals. They're the
No,
ones.
no,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
No.
I'm like, these are the originals.
No,
it's the
they're
ones they
cheesy.
redid. They're terrible.
Yeah, no, they're in a sort of stupendous Adam Van Conant wolf shirt sort of
Who
way.
came up with that idea? Like, what type of
Fabio,
audience were they
I don't-
trying to
Somebody-
capture?
Teenage girls.
That
I
failed
don't
miserably.
think it's teenage girl. I think I'd shoot a little older. I think I'd go maybe over 45.
Yeah, I mean that's the
There's a very specific aesthetic there.
yes.
And maybe some very, very, very esoteric.
You're going
teenage
for the
girls and
50
boys.
Shades of Women audience there on that one.
And
Rand,
then they read it and they're like, what is this?
This is not what I was expecting.
there's
Where's the
no action
rippling
here. It's
chest
just a bunch of
muscles?
People yelling at each other.
Yeah, exactly.
where's the heaving loins?
I was going to say that, but I was trying not to.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
trying not to.
There's
Eric has
a lot of
twice
things that
lowered
maybe-
the bar thus far in this podcast.
First of all, I don't even know what heaving loins are. That's
Yeah,
some weird
thank you.
combination
That's
of.
that's
Don't think about it for too long. That's all I'm going to
Now
say.
Dave and I have a moment of silence.
Ugh. I have a moment where I need to go
moment
take a
of
bath.
awkwardness.
Ugh.
So yeah, like I said, Rand concludes that Samael has sent the lightning, and he's known the man has been behind the pirates in Tyr and the attack in the Jangai Pass.
Man or a myth? Man or a myth?
The Aiel, Myagoma, Kodara, Shainde, Darin, clans of the Aiel to the east begin to gather.
We never ever really find out what they were gathering for.
That's true.
There was a suspicion that they were hanging, or that they were malingering, waiting to see who won.
See what was going to happen, but that was never
Oh,
That
clarified.
doesn't sound like Brave Aiel, though,
No.
does it? We're just going to sit here and see who the winner is, and they'll be like, yeah, we were rooting for you the
Well,
whole time,
Eric,
buddy.
Right? Yeah. See,
You meet all kinds. You just
all
meet
kinds. Yeah. So that's
I mean,
just
we
interesting to
already
me.
see
Is
300,000 Shido that are just stupid
uh,
with the with following a
stupid with
another
the
false
stupidness.
dragon.
Yeah.
So Rand requests Jada and Egwene requests Mists, and the three, along with some maidens, go riding. That would be Avienda in tow, go riding to observe the battle. Matt now has a battalion of 3,000 men and is looking for a way for them to escape.
That's a few more than your 400 movie.
That's what Matt's always doing, is looking for a way to escape.
And it never seems to work out well for him. The escaping part, that is.
Right. After seeing a hill go up in flames near where he is searching for, Matt concludes that Samael has joined the fight.
Someone did that.
Yeah, pretty big deal for him to be able to conclude that.
Yeah, that's
PBD.
Whatever, Matt.
He's insightful.
What'd you say?
I said PBD. It's not NBD, it's PBD.
Either that or
pretty
lucky
big
guess.
deal. I just coined that phrase just now.
Yeah. Which is why no one got it.
Yeah. It'll be used going forward.
Estian,
There's a learning curve.
Estian, Nalesian, Talaminus, and Darad tell Matt that 5,000 Aiel are headed their way, and Couladin is with them.
Derek says
Couladin
is coming.
Matt puts together a battle plan to attack the Shaido, and then the scene shifts back to Rand, who's apparently been attacked by Samael a few more times.
Yeah.
We learn that Samael's given name is Tel Janin Aelinsar.
In a frightening moment of revelation.
Who is that? Oh, I guess it's just his name.
It's Samael's given name.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Well, I know you did, but then I just looked down at what I wrote. It said, Tel Janin. Who is that? That Rand is thinking of. Now I remember.
Well, the best part is Asmodean's reaction to when Rand is blathering the stuff off and his insanity there. He's like, he turns as white as a sheet.
Yeah,
he's
like, Theron seems to be bubbling up more and more here.
He's like a bubble of evil within Rand.
Too soon.
Rand's sitting atop his horse in a daze and is guided to the convalescent camp. Lan tells Rand the battle is won, and after releasing Saidin, Rand passes out and falls from his horse. As he's slipping away, he feels Asmodean trickling some of the power into him, and we end the chapter wondering whether or not Asmodean is helping or hurting. Before he passes out, Rand comes to hear Avienda discussing how she'll carry Rand to Elaine to fulfill her oath. Shouldn't she be more concerned about what will happen to the world if Rand dies than what's going on with their little love triangle?
Consider who this is, though. That's not her toe. Her toes.
Her toes not to the world.
Well, it isn't. Her toes to Elaine, and as we know anything about the Aiel, that's what drives them.
She'll have no foot or toe if the world is destroyed.
Yeah, she doesn't care about that.
There will be no appendages below the ankle.
She cares about her near sister, and that's what she cares about.
She really cares about her.
She can't see
How
beyond
much
her
time
feet.
did they spend together?
That's another good question.
I know it's been a while since we've done this.
Sometimes, Adam,
in
a person's life, they encounter that special someone.
She's like, did we just become best friends?
Right, exactly. That just happened. Yup. You want to go do kung fu in the garage? Yup.
Sorry, before you go, is Mist dead?
Who? Mist?
Dead?
No.
Mist.
Mist is not dead.
Mist is not dead.
Mist is not dead.
I don't think so. Chapter 45, After the Storm. We start with Matt.
It's after the rain. You have to sing that Nelson style?
No, I'm not doing that. Matt's watching the celebration after the battle.
You got to give it your all, Eric.
From what Melindra says, Matt has killed Couladin.
Oh, reveal.
We don't get the battle. We get the reference after the fact. Matt recalls the fight with... He does recall the fight with Couladin in his own way.
Very ish.
Talamenes and Nalesian ask Matt to have their rightful place in Rand's procession and fight over ways to serve Matt.
They're also all singing Jack of the Shadows, though.
And a special version of it, too.
Yeah, they make up their own version.
The song is changing, baby.
That's right. Just like these times, Adam.
They're like the band of the Shadows. Matt sits and talks with Melindra, Estrian, and Daedred, and then watches Lan and Moiraine get into a brief argument. There's the argument that Lan and Moiraine get into. What's that about? What's going on there?
It's a lovers, but not lovers quarrel.
What is going on with Moiraine?
Yeah,
something not good
building inside that woman.
That to me is the lesser sadness.
That's unfortunately we're not in that chapter anymore.
Yeah,
right.
No, but seriously, like that's obviously that's a major moment there. What are they talking about? Are they talking about like her passing him off still? Is this still lingering?
Once again,
I have no idea.
We never find out.
We don't know. like what the Shido are doing to the east.
It's adding some spicy ramen, some spicy flavor that you don't ever get to taste.
That's what spicy ramen is. It's flavor
That's right.
you don't
it's
get
flavor
to taste.
you don't get to taste.
The scene shifts to Rand, who awakens and is informed by Aviendha and Natael that Moiraine has healed him, and they feared he was near death. So obviously, Natael didn't kill him.
No, and he's out there healing people.
Yeah, and he was out there healing people. So do we
something's
trust
going on
him
with
at
that
this?
guy.
Do we trust Asmodean at this point?
I would say you trust him in as much as he's going to do whatever he has to do to stay alive and stay within Rand's graces, because he knows if he doesn't, he won't be alive.
That's a very good point.
But
you only trust him as far as you can throw him.
I was trying to avoid that, but yeah.
Okay. He's a small guy. He's a bard. How you could probably chuck him pretty far.
I have a feeling he's not a
kind of a
small
bard.
guy.
He wears a lot of lace. Those lacy people tend to be
Right.
thin.
Watch out for them.
You never see a fat guy wearing lace.
You did,
not
actually.
true. That's not true at all.
Howell
That's not true
Goad
at
or whatever his
all.
name was.
That's right. That's right.
I like that you were very committed to it, though.
Right, he was.
Yeah.
He was
You
full
knew
in
what
on
you
something
were
he was
saying.
completely
the only
wrong
way to
about.
tell a joke. So Aviendha goes on to argue that Rand has no right to exhaust himself the way he has. We have many
Because he has toe.
right. We have a lot of conversations where Asmodean is providing the appropriate mood music in the background.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Much to Rand's
love that.
anger.
So Rand is living life with his own personal musical score. Nobody really has it better than this guy. How
It's
much
like when
would
you're
you love to
walking
have
down-
your own musical score everywhere you went? Imagine how dramatic your life would be.
Well, no, it's like
Yeah.
walking to the grocery store with your headphones in, and you're like, yeah, look at that. That bird looked at me.
Only everybody else
Playing
would
this
hear
music.
The only difference is everybody would be hearing it, though, not just you.
It's very
it. Well,
true.
maybe that might be good, though, because then people will be like,
good of a
I am
difference.
steering away from that guy. Listen to that
Right.
music
Yes,
going on.
exactly. If you could have anybody score your life, who would it be?
Oh, without a doubt, it would be John Williams.
Oh, okay. So your
Did
life
you
would
say
be
John
all in
Lovitz?
major chords. Yes, John Lovitz.
John Lovitz. Having met John Lovitz, I would say if John Lovitz could write a score, I would love every second of that. But
This is what your life sounds like. Yeah.
no, John Williams. He's written some of the most memorable, most
Yeah, we know
instantly
who John Williams.
catchable, to your ear scores ever.
I'd be Danny Elfman. It'd be lots of Calliope music. Danny Elfman, or you're gonna love this
Elfman's
one.
a good choice. I like his Oingo
Mike
Boingo
Patton.
stuff better.
I would have Mike Patton score my life.
Oh my word! You would never even understand what was going on with the score half the time.
It'd be freaking amazing.
It would be amazing, and
It
you'd be
would be pretty
confused
amazing.
3/4 of the
bouncing
time.
around.
I mean, listen to the
Never mind,
Fantomas
this
stuff.
is a podcast.
You'd be
You
so
can't see me
confused.
bouncing.
Well, they can imagine.
Adam, who you got? Who would be scoring your life?
Oh, scoring my life?
Yeah, spice up your life.
Cradle of Filth.
Oh my gosh!
And it looks like who did the design for your garage.
King Diamond.
Now that would be an amazing choice. Yes, if King Diamond could score my life, I'd
Johnny
be running
Greenwood?
around. It'd be fabulous.
No, I'm not. My life is wonderful. I don't. It's Puddle of Mud.
Not 9 inches.
Puddle of mud. Oh my word!
Oh my gosh. Your life would be dumb.
That would be you would be have a, you,
Simple.
you'd have a
That's
lot
exactly.
a lot of confrontation if that was the case.
yeah, there probably
People,
would be.
people just coming up to you and punching you.
You
all
might
the time.
as well
You'd
at
be
that
like,
point.
What is that about? Did you hear that music?
You might as well have Nickelback scoring your life at that point because it
Oh,
would make
man,
people
I really
so
wanna go
angry.
Well, but the
Puddle
difference
of
is like
Mud
one would be
at a bar.
ridiculously weepy and melodramatic, and the other
Right.
one would just be like
Self-entitled, self-indulgent
stupidly obvious.
nonsense. Yeah.
Rand
Going on.
asks Aviendha to inform him when Maegoma and the other clans join him after the Wise Ones have figured everything out. Egwene's been in the Wise Ones meetings, and Moiraine hasn't. She's staying
Another
mighty
sadness.
aloof, that Aes Sedai.
Yeah, like we said.
Aviendha informs Rand the Shaido have fled north across the Galen River. Tens of thousands of Shaido have escaped north now and are just wandering around. Aviendha is convinced that the Shaido are finished. Rand, not so much.
Yeah.
Because
there's 10,000
This
of
is
them
his
wandering
home
the
and not hers,
countryside.
so she doesn't really have a lot invested in whether or not they're actually finished.
And as
Aviendha-
we pointed out, all she cares about is her toes.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yes. Aviendha tells Rand that Mat has killed Couladin. We learn Asmodean's birth name, Jor Adam Nesosin. Rand learns from Asmodean that Mylan and the other Tyran High Lords, along with the Kyrianan, have come to visit him in the night, but been turned away by the Wise Ones.
It's fabulous. I love it.
It's like, no.
I do really like that. I love how much power they have.
Those guys are not happy. Dobrain and Kolavir hint to Asmodean that they're willing to offer Rand the Sun Throne.
Right. Take what's yours already.
Wait, are those the lesser lords or the higher lords?
They're the higher lords.
They're high lords.
Okay.
Asmodean and Avienda squabble over delivering info. Wyraman has offered Rand Kyrian. The Kyrianan also appear, begging to see Rand, and were turned away. And then Rand asks Asmodean to get his horse.
Get me my horse.
Which takes us to chapter 46. Other battles, other weapons. It sure seems like a lot of these titles are like this and that.
Right.
I got a spoon. What about another deeper spoon?
A fork. So the chapter opens in Rand's tent just after Asmodean has left. Avienda and Rand argue over whether he could lead, over whether he should head into Kyrian. Avienda forces Rand to search for his clothes and tells him she can tell from his demeanor that Couladin is dead. Rand exits the tent with Avienda at his hip after finally finding his clothes underneath her.
She also told him that she doesn't longer need a sword that she gave him while the hill. I think that's funny.
Let me just tell us something about Rand's willpower.
She doesn't need the
All these
hilt
beautiful
that he
women
gave
throwing
her.
themselves at
She
him.
says to him, "You no longer need that."
Oh,
and
the
she's
sword.
pointing to his sword.
Yeah, the sword which is in
right.
the rug.
Right, because she sees it as a sign of disrespect to their people. Asmodean brings
Even though she gave it to him.
Asmodean brings Jadaen
Yeah,
and
she gave it to him.
Asmodean brings Jadaen and Rand mounts, pulling Avienda up after him, and they ride out. The Aiel have captured nearly 20,000 of Couladin's people.
That's a lot of guys shine.
Rand notices the Aiel, some of the Aiel wearing thin red headbands emblazoned with the symbol of the Aes Sedai. Avienda calls them Siswai Aman, the spears of the dragon. The captured Aiel are being treated like any other captured Aiel, unguarded and trusted to obey Jiato.
I have a question about the Siswai Aman. The
yeah.
name implied ownership of the people.
Right, that's the reason why Avienda is uncomfortable with the name, and I'm glad you bring that up, because it's saying spears of the dragon implies that they are his weapons, right, and that and that there's ownership there. And so it seems like the other Aiel aren't really comfortable with that.
It's the lesser sadness.
You've got the captured Aiel being treated like any other Aiel, unguarded and trusted to obey Jiato. But as Rand thinks, these people have already disobeyed custom. And why should they be trusted to follow custom at this point? Is that a mistake? Are the Aiel making an error here due to their own cultural blindness?
Maybe. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. I don't know. It seems like it could happen, though.
It seems like Rand thinks it's a mistake. I definitely think it's a mistake. They've broken so many customs already.
I will say one thing about the Aiel is they tend to do that when they're following somebody who's giving them direction. They seem to be a people very reliant upon their leaders. So with that leader being struck and out, I don't know if they will still do that, and then they'll follow the new leadership, which is Guy Shine. They'll follow that. I don't know. Maybe just a thought on that, but
you are right. But maybe it's because we're in these times that come around once every 3,000 years.
These trying times.
Now you have your actual prophet.
Avienda reveals that the Siswai Aman are an Aiel superstition that first revolved around Rand. She says, many believe that you will kill us all in an endless dance of the spear, a sacrifice to atone for that original sin that they believe they possess.
That sounds about right.
Others believe that and I'm continuing to quote her now, others believe that the bleakness itself is attesting to wear away all but the hardcore before the last battle. I've even heard some say that the Aiel are now your dream, and that when you wake from this life, we will be no more. Wow. There's some deep superstitions going on amongst the Aiel. Lots of meta.
They're uncomfortable with this
They're
whole
an
concept.
imaginative
They
people.
do, and they don't like that he's around. It's very tough.
We keep hearing this idea that Rand will destroy the Aiel. I mean, haven't we already seen a type of destruction of the Aiel?
Their way of
definitely.
life, so maybe that's it. I mean, but that is part of the prophecy of the dragon, so
Yeah.
maybe he's already fulfilled part of it.
I mean, he's pounding their way of life out. They keep changing and changing. He's revealed who they are to them, which was a major schism within.
Well, he's revealed who
the
they are
nation.
to the rest of them. The other part already knew.
Right.
The leaders who hide information. That never happens. Come on.
Yeah, that's very true.
What are we talking about?
what
They were like,
leap.
we had this. Oh, here it is. You could find out now. Here's our real history.
Rand and Avienda arrive at Kadir's encampment. Many of Kadir's servants have abandoned his group, and Rand has replaced them with Kyrianan refugees. Why is Kadir still around? What is that guy doing?
That was almost my Willow. Was why is that guy still
What is
here?
he doing?
He's serving a purpose of which we know not.
Oh my gosh, I would have been gone. I would have been gone so long ago.
I mean,
He could have fled during the battle, just snuck off into the night.
How did he not die?
He already axe murdered what's her face, and
Alessandra?
well, no, that's not her name.
Isandra?
Yeah, Essendra. Yeah, he chopped her up
She-
into little pieces, and
Might have been better
maybe that's
for her
it.
to
Maybe
die
he's
at
still
that
dropping
point.
a piece along as they walk
Right.
along.
He's got her.
He's leaving the Hansel
shoved
and
into
Gretel
different
crumbs.
socks, and he's just
Right.
chucking them off to the
Right.
side.
Yeah,
Here I am, dark friends. Come and get me.
follow me.
I'm over here.
This is what happens to you when you betray me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's chopped her up, but everybody thinks that Isandra has escaped.
Yeah,
Rand-
she's out somewhere in the waste, naked, running around.
Right. Yeah. Well, right. They think she's dead.
Her hair is finally growing back.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Rand has given orders to allow Kadir to leave as long as he doesn't take any of the artifacts, but clearly he's not interested in taking advantage of that.
No, and he hasn't talked to Asmodean either.
Now Rand is trying to convince himself to distrust Moiraine in the same way that he distrusts Asmodean.
Which doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, he's just spinning off into his own orbit. It's going to be problematic.
Gonna be? It's been throughout like all these chapters.
But
he creates his own
The stakes are
boogeyman.
getting more and more dire, which means that this distrust eventually. Yeah, I mean, you could see there's a major misstep coming here at some point if he's only seeking his own counsel.
Because that's gone well for him in the past.
Rand arrives at the gates of Cairhien to the greetings of the Tyrant Lords, heralding his arrival. The
Hip hip, it's Rand!
pip pip. The crowd incite the Cairhienin.
I love the fact that anyone could be Rand in that procession. They don't care. They just love the idea of the fact that they might have touched the Dragon Reborn.
That is very true.
The whole crowd is just like, that horse is the Dragon Reborn and I touched it. They don't care.
Yeah.
But that's super
It's
cool.
gotta be. Everybody else is thinking the same thing.
People are taking little horse shavings and selling them on the black
Right.
market.
Yep.
Hear ye. 3 pence for the shavings of Lord Dragon's horse.
This iron shod horse hoof is, yeah
Probably happened.
probably.
This is poop from the Lord Dragon's horse.
Eric once again. Man, this is like the episode of lowest common denominator, and Eric is just chopping it down.
He's really pushing the
you're
boundaries.
setting him
by
up and I'm
talking
cutting
about
him down.
Excrement.
What he's doing is he's pulling an Adam from the earlier episodes when Adam was bringing up all the questionable material.
Adam would go way,
Eric has supplanted him.
way worse.
But I guarantee you it was funnier.
Wyverman comes to greet Rand and take him to a gathering, and the cheers die down.
I want to call him Wireman of the oiliness.
Yeah, it seems that he and the Cairhienin have not treated the Cairhienin have not been treated well by the tyrants.
I mean, the tyrants don't treat their own people well. Why would we think they would treat the Cairhienin any better? They treat everyone like Eric's excrement comments.
So Rand greets the tyrant and the Cairhienin lords and feels like he's done Moiraine proud. So even though he's siphoning himself off of her counsel, he still thinks about her and still
She gives great counsel.
wants to live up
sounded
to her
funny.
expectations. Rand requests a chair instead of the sun throne that the Tyrant Lords are trying to give him, and then
Shock and horror. Shock and horror.
He's just like, this doesn't belong to me.
No, I've got this saved for somebody else.
And then he requests that
And
the
Wyvern's
gathering
like, "It's
sort
me,
themselves
it's
by
me."
rank, allowing the Kyrianen to come forward from the back and actually stand on equal footing with the tyrants.
I love that section when he comes in and he's playing the game. He's playing the game with every single one of those High Lords. He pats one guy on the shoulder, he claps the other guy in the back, he winks conspiratorially at the other one. That is just fabulous.
He's working the room.
He is, and everyone all of a sudden is like, "What did that mean? Well, what did that mean?"
All it needs to do is give somebody finger guns and a wink, and he'll have cornered the market.
I just love that Jordan put that in there.
Steve Martin.
Yes,
working that room.
It's so good. Jordan just put that. It's tasty. He throws that in there, and it's just great. I love that section.
I love that you brought that up. Yeah. He did that before too, though, kind of in tier.
Right. Yeah, he did a little bit, but this is like in front of everybody. So now everyone's looking at each other, going, "What did that mean? What did that mean?"
Dave, that was 3 months ago.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. He's using the game of houses to
Tom would be proud.
Better and better
Tom would be proud.
Rand proclaims,
or Tom would be like, "What are you doing?"
So Rand starts sort of leveling the Tyrant expectations for their importance there in Cairhien, because he can see, and we know that they're looking to really supplant the Cairhienin and set themselves up and sort of steal some of the land for themselves and their families, etc. Rand sort of puts the kibosh on that by first of all having them all stand on equal footing and sort by rank.
Great, that's a great moment. And it's a great moment, and that's another one of my favorite parts of this chapter. And the line where Moiraine talks about. She says, if their reserve breaks, it might break out in an unexpected fashion when, like, they all just start capering about, like,
they all
at
cheer.
a feast day. They're all,
Right, when he does this, when he proclaims that all but one of the flags should be removed, all but one of the Tyrant flags should be removed and replaced by Cairhienin flags, and that, his flag will stand on top of the
Cairhienin will still hold her honor.
And then Rand has the Tyrant and Cairhienin lords all swear fealty to him, and thinks to himself that he needs to secure Cairhien prior to moving on to Samael.
Foreshadow.
Which takes us to chapter 47.
Yes, it does.
The price of a ship. The chapter opens with Nynaeve having sweat through her shift due to her dreams of
shift with an
the
F.
night before. Egwene has randomly appeared in some of her dreams. At Nynaeve's bidding, the two women have been quarantined in their wagon, except when performing for the past 3 days, waiting for the ship to arrive.
That sounds like it would be a lot of fun. All those grumpy women around each other, all mad at each other, just at each other's throats. Grumpy. Oh my gosh.
Well, it's just she and Elaine, right?
And Brigitte.
Isn't Brigitte in a different...
Brigitte
isn't she in a different
She
cabin?
is, but she comes in often enough that it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
But she's just loving it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. She's eating it up.
She's pushing everyone's buttons and being like, ba-da-ba-ba.
While arguing about the amount of skin the other's outfit is exposing.
Right.
It's
either leg or bosom. One or the other is offending somebody.
The two women discover that Egwene has been communicating with them through their dreams, and that's why they keep seeing her. Nynaeve finally realized that her original reason for joining this story have long since evaporated. She's no longer protecting any of these people. Brigitte enters the wagon, and she and Nynaeve start to bicker with each other.
Surprise.
Brigitte tells them that the men have returned from town, and then they all go running out of the little trailer.
The boys are back in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Brigitte is stroking the back of Uno's neck.
Yep, she gets around. Tom and Julian look...
Yep, she gets around. Okay.
I don't know that as a fact. I don't have any documentation. Tom and Julian look to have been in a fight in Samara, and they mention that there is a riot that's been started in Samara. Uno arrives and informs them that there is a ship and that Messima has informed his followers to take over Amadisha.
That's ship with a P.
Uno informs them that
This is
the
an
riots.
ongoing theme in this episode.
Uno informs them that the riot started when a ship arrived and had been commandeered by the White Cloaks.
That's so weird.
Wonder why
is
that
the
would have
ship
happened.
they are
All
going to
happened
try to
because of the
take.
ship.
That's such a great moment. They're all looking at Nynaeve, and she's like, I don't know what you're
because it
talking
becomes
about.
clear to her that Galad has commandeered the ship and started this war,
It's fabulous. That's just so good.
which means that Nynaeve
That's
started this
so
war.
crazy.
Right, it's so good.
Galad arrives and informs
Can
them
you just
that he paid the
imagine that
captain of a
moment?
ship to take them to Saladar.
See, that's the moment when you need that background music, when you need your own bard.
Right.
He's going to tell. He's going to tell.
It appears that Galad was aware of the fact that his actions could start a war.
Doesn't care.
And he defends himself by saying the children would have to fight the prophet at some point. So it might as well be now.
But he even starts before that with just saying, I told Nynaeve I was going to do it, so I did.
Yeah.
Well, it must be
'Cause that's
nice
what I
always
do.
being-
That's my
always
thing.
Being right.
Yeah.
Luca
Just
arrives.
always following the righteous path.
Luca arrives worse for the wear and is shouting for everyone
too
to
is
pack up
beat
and
up.
move. Right. It appears Chin Amika, the owner of the menagerie, has been decapitated.
He's no longer with us.
That's a she. And
Her too.
And Cilia Serrano, the owner of another, has had her performers flogged. So the children of the prophet are not treating the menageries well. Luca drags Nynaeve off and asks her to stay with him / marry him. Oh, yes, sure.
Not
yeah,
really.
marry.
Oh,
right, yes,
marry you, right. Yeah, that's what I had in mind.
Right.
You want me to marry you?
Nynaeve,
Yeah,
yeah. Nynaeve rejects Luca and he says that they will meet again. Elaine tells
The
Sarandon.
lines that guy's spouting out are just fabulous. I mean, how Jordan comes up with the stuff, I don't know, but the stuff he's just spouting out is just so good.
Elaine tells Sarandon to come with them, and Sarandon refuses. Elaine and Birgitta argue over how Birgitta handled the Sarandon confrontation
Right.
and her duties as a warder. This is great. So now those two can start
Oh,
arguing with
and
each
the
other.
fact that she doesn't believe that she's the princess.
Right, yeah. She tells Sarandon and Birgitta, and neither of them believe
And
her.
she just throws her head back and screams. It's so good.
Yeah.
I would do the exact same thing. I know I would. Or punch a tent stave or something.
She
I don't
felt
know.
like she felt like it was pretty good after she screamed. I feel
Yeah.
like she was like that
she
was the
felt
right
good
thing
until
to
she
do.
didn't. When
Miss-
Brigitta's like, did that help you at all? No.
Do you feel any
no,
better
did
now?
that- No.
I do not understand Jordan's proclivity for this.
Is there
Really
so
grates
Messima
my
has
gears.
sent his people off to Amadisha to conquer
Loot, pillage, spoil, rape, kill,
the
murder.
state, and he's done it in Rand's name.
Is he like the prophet of doom?
What kind of
yeah.
trouble is this going to cause for Rand?
Oh my gosh.
Well, that's a good.
I don't think that there's
I don't
any
know.
good out of that relationship.
We already know
there isn't
that
a relationship.
Pedron Niall is
Well-
over there plotting against Rand. Now he has a reason to really plot against Rand.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he can cite that Rand is causing chaos in the area, in the country.
I guess the question would be this: so if you separate Rand and if you're the common layperson and you look and you hear what Rand normally does, Rand comes and rescue places. He overthrows tyrant leaders. He normally doesn't instill some guy in his name who murders and slaughters everybody. So
Well,
I'm
he did
hoping
just kill
some
a
people will
bunch of
be
his
like,
own people. Let's not
okay,
forget
but that's the lesser sadness. Not many people know that. So
You're
Right.
You're
Ooh.
you're talking about a
Yes.
rational argument.
Yes.
My concern is the propaganda that Niall.
well, he can spin
create
anything. I mean,
from,
yeah.
from this situation. He's already essentially plotting to let Rand cause chaos in the region and then swoop in and save
But we
everybody
know that
from
as
him.
we know that as the reader. We don't know
Right.
necessarily.
Right,
the
I'm
common
saying as a
layperson.
reader, this is concerning. This is
Oh, okay.
feeding right into the narrative that he is eventually looking to create, as part of.
It's something to keep an eye on for sure. I don't know how that'll.
It's going to be a problem.
The prophet is a major problem.
Chapter 48: leave takings.
Leaves and
Leaves
takings.
taking flight. So
It's a book about fall.
preparing to leave, Nynaeve touches the seal and
That's
touches
leave
one
with a
of the
V,
seals
not with an F.
that she has, and it seems and can feel evil now seeping through one of the seals to the Dark One's prison.
That can't be good.
I mean, we're only 5 books into this, and that's already starting to happen.
We've already got
terrifying.
broken seals.
That
Yeah.
started happening in the second book.
Well, the seals were breaking,
Right.
but now it feels like he's on the
A
cusp
full
of
seal
breaking
that's
free.
like that's got evil in it. Yeah.
They say goodbye to Clarine, Aludra, who is just
Taboos!
Aludra's pushing her matches on them that she's created.
Yeah.
Her, what are they called? Fire sticks?
The fire sticks. Hey, was anyone else sad to see Aludra
Once again,
go?
another great advertiser.
I mean, Aludra is the what's his name?
Bail Doma.
Bail
Oh,
Doman.
yeah.
She's Bail Doman's
Recurring character.
female counterpart.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I can't wait to
I have
see
a
that
feeling
guy
we're going to
again.
see her again, but I hate seeing her go.
Oh, yeah, so do I. She's
She's a character.
really entertaining.
I mean, she gave me Tammuz, and that is fabulous.
Yes, you oaf.
You oaf. You great oaf.
It should be the name of your fantasy football team.
That would be amazing. Tammuz, you great oaf.
Luca returns with flowers for Nynaeve.
Dead flowers.
Oh my gosh.
And they leave. They arrive at
Bye-bye.
Samara, and it has been destroyed. Moving through
It's
the city,
bad.
the group is attacked by a mob, and an amazing fight ensues that we actually do get to witness with Galad
Right.
out front dancing the death of swords.
Man, he's just a beast. He's in
No,
beast mode.
Galad was not doing any. Galad was like moving here and there, but just slaughtering everyone. in
He's
front
like,
of
he's
him. It
just
was-
like, you know, he just has this indifferent look about his face. He's like, yeah,
yeah, he was
got-
moving smoothly.
He's in the
Not
Matrix.
that many
you got
emotions.
nothing. You got nothing.
Finally, they join
This
the
was
children
a really,
and
this
board
was
the
a
ship.
really dark description of actually what was taking. Maybe it's because whatever. I don't want to keep saying that, but it's a dark description of what took place there. The amount of bodies that were just everywhere.
You know what
hanging out of
happened,
wall.
Adam? The bodies hit the floor there, is what happened.
They hit the
in groups.
wall. Yeah, that's true though. I mean, this just happens, but in the series, but it's a bad bit of people. It's a lot of people dead.
Those people were crazed.
Finally,
Yeah.
they join the children.
Because
I mean, you're
of
seeing
the ship.
there's bodies hanging out the window, like decapitated people just lying off on the side. Yeah, it's horrible.
It's like some weird Where's Waldo of death. They
Yeah.
finally join the children and
Said
board
no
the
one
ship.
ever.
Sorry.
They
You
finally
tickled
join
me
the
pink.
children and board the ship. Nynaeve insists the captain take the refugees on the dock with
That
him.
captain. What's up with most of the captains in this story? Like the captains are all seedy. They're all like, with the exception of Doman, I guess, or maybe some of the sea folk, but most of the captains are all like cantankerous, like
Yeah, they're
crusty
not- yeah.
curmudgeons.
They're not
They're
happy
powerful.
dudes.
They got a lot. They got.
That was a lot of
ship. That's
alliteration
pretty
there by
important.
me,
They're
I might
pretty
say.
important people.
Yeah.
PVD.
PPD.
I mentioned earlier that Galad was helping them get to Saladar. They don't tell him they're going to Saladar, obviously, but he's on his way there anyway for some reason.
And he pays their fare earlier,
well,
which
right,
is nice.
yeah. So he tells them that, but he can only afford
This is
passage to
such-
Boanda,
Right.
This is such a bad setup.
which is where
What are you
the
talking about, Adam? It'll be fine.
the Bourne River runs into the Eldar,
The
which is
Jason
about
Bourne River?
200
Yeah,
miles.
You
and
talking
maybe,
about old Jay Bourne?
maybe not half of the way, but a third of the way to Saladar. So they're going to have a ways to go after this passage gets paid.
You know,
They've
Good,
got
because
money.
they can.
I feel like
separate themselves,
Saladar is a
hopefully.
place that's slightly important.
It's funny that Galad mentions that Rand, beware of Rand, right? He's constantly admonishing
He
his
does not
sister
like
to
that
be
Rand.
beware of Rand because Rand brings destruction wherever he goes.
Says Galad, who wandered
What
through
just
murder.
happened?
Right. He started a civil
he just
war,
started a war in the middle of nowhere.
which he will never recognize.
Let's talk about of all the ironies.
Yeah.
Really, dude.
Come on, man.
I do not understand. I mean, I guess we do understand his character. It's what his sister was saying the entire
yeah.
time. There is no respect there
He
because
belongs-
You're exactly right.
Monday
He's
Night
doing
Football.
what?
Come on, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's just doing whatever he wants and then just slapping. Oh, it was the right choice. That was righteous unto it.
You know, I may disagree with that. I I don't think it's just that his code of conduct is different. It's not just whatever he wants. He's a believer, so it isn't just it's not a callous. I'm just going to do what I want, and I'm just going to say it's in the cause of this. No, he's full into what he believes. He might be.
So he's a believer that if I break one promise, then it will all.
Yeah, his his whole code of ethic of his life would just disintegrate.
And I think in this chapter he reveals that he's aware of the dangers of his actions. He said, I might have started a war here, but it was going to happen at some point. Here's just as good of a place as any. So that's a lame excuse, but he's aware that, he's aware of what
Did he say
this
started,
place
what he's
this
doing.
Time? Right. This
or
place,
this day?
This day.
Sadly, no.
He should have. He clearly was not aware of.
Do you think then that is ultimately maybe a beneficial thing that he's kind of breaking off of his white cloak ways, or do you think it's the opposite?
Oh no, he's behaving like a white cloak.
He's like behaving like the king of the white cloaks.
Yeah, he's behaving like a zealot
without the craziness.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's pretty crazy to start a war to make.
Yeah, but that there's a difference in being crazy and having a crazy action. Like crazy is Bayar. Like Child Bayar, that guy's a zealot who's off his rocker.
Yeah. Is that guy still around?
I think Jordan goes out of his way to point that out. Well, it's Jarrett Bayar, yeah.
Yeah, child Jarrett.
Yeah. And that's where our story wraps up with our heroines headed on the River Serpent.
That's
down
heroines with an E.
Saladar, or where they're actually going to stop off Boanda. And that takes us to Adam. What shook your willow?
Mine was honestly almost covered already, but that the fact that there was a chapter called "The Lesser Sadness" and what is going to be the greater sadness? Maybe just like fading metabolism.
Right. As you get older, that is the lesser sadness. It's affecting all of our lives right now.
I can't eat Big Macs anymore.
Do you to begin with?
I think, I eat those all the time.
You still eat those all the time?
Because specifically everything that we had been talking about.
I would take a Whopper over a Big Mac any day.
Double Big
I
Mac.
agree with you.
I would take a double Whopper. I haven't eaten one of those since college, but man, they're good.
But yeah. The whole Burger King setup is always a little more depressing than McDonald's, though. I don't know.
Not the one out in Sandwich. Let me just tell you, it is a bright ray of sunshine in my life.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
I'm not going to lie. When there's people working there, that is, because there's a shortage of staffing in the world. But so Adam, so that's your willow. What do you think that was in that chapter? I mean, do you have any knowledge of what you think the lesser sadness was? I came away from it still wondering what that was.
I think that you were kind of right in bringing up the fact that it was when Rand had to use his ability to kill his own people.
Yes,
that's a good point. I never really.
Yeah, I think that's
and
what it is.
Just the fact, yeah, and there are just a lot of different directions going on with him and his relationship with Egwene, and
the greater sadness is losing the war. The lesser sadness is destroying the Kyrianen amongst the Aiel at the gates of Kyrian in order to win the battle. Then there is also the challenge that these 6 chapters begin with, which is him wondering, like, was there any way for me to prevent us getting here? Because he's constantly finding himself in these situations now, and he's beginning to wonder. We've had moments where he's wondered, I need to conquer this land, and I've brought these Aiel to do it, but am I going to break it? I mean, is there actually going to be anything for me to save from this for the final battle?
Well, you can say that about the Aiel, too.
These are all concerns he's
Is he going to have a remnant left to save?
Like what you said earlier, Dave, is that he is just tearing the Aiel apart.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I'm not happy to think about what the greater sadness is.
No, I don't. Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
And I feel like it's around the corner.
So what shook my willow was we get introduced to a new standard bearer for Rand named Pevin. Pevin is a guy with an interesting past. He's lost his wife and sister to the famine, his brother and son to the Civil War. He had no idea which house's men had killed them or who they had supported for the Sun Throne. Fleeing toward Amador had cost him a second son at the hands of the Andorran soldiers and a second brother to the bandits. And returning had cost him his last son, dead on the Shaido spear. And his daughter as well was carried off, while Pevin was left for dead.
This reminds me of...
Sounds like the story of the Aiel.
Right, or have you ever seen the movie, and I own it, How the West Was Won?
Sure, of course.
So it's like the one family, like everyone just dies off, and the one family, one person's left. It's just it's so
you're right. This is great because it is very much a Western tale, or the family on the frontier that's destroyed by.
It's
the
like the
Native
Oregon
Americans.
Trail. You're the last one left alive, and you're got all the foodstuffs for the family that died of dysentery on the way there.
Or Eric, by the other white families.
That's not a Western movie.
Okay, I don't know what that's about, but okay.
It's truth, but that's not a movie made in the 50s. Nobody in the 50s is recognizing white on white crime.
Yeah, also no one in the 50s is actually a Native American playing
Right,
Native
yes.
American.
Right, there's that as well. Pevin,
That you could say that about any race. It doesn't matter if it's Native American.
Yes, very true.
Pevin barely speaks, but Rand recognizes a hardness in him. He says he seems winnowed down to a bare tree.
That man's a bad A.
Yeah. Pevin figures with the last battle coming, if he stays close to Rand, he can see his family avenged before the world is destroyed. Pevin figures the world would surely end, but it didn't matter. Nothing did so long as he got his vengeance. Did Cormac McCarthy write this character? This sounds like
Not to be
this
confused
totally
with Charlie
sounds like
McCarthy.
a McCarthy character. Like the road suddenly entered into this narrative.
No, but this happened before the Aiel story background, almost, just in terms of like everybody's family dying.
Yeah.
But we've never had anything so specific.
This is very, very bleak.
He gets one paragraph dedicated to him, and it's just one horror after the other.
Yeah, it's just it's the snowball rolling down the hill.
Maybe.
So Pevin, I'm cheering for you, Pev.
Seriously, you gotta hope something good happens for that guy because nothing else has.
Previn.
So that was my Willow. What you got, Dave?
Mine is the literal opposite of what way back when was it book 2, book 3. My Willow moment, and one of my favorite moments in the entire series, was Matt's fight in Tar Valon with he spars with everybody, with Galad and with Hamar.
Oh, Hamar, yeah.
You get this great description of the fight, and instead, one of the penultimate moments of Couladin dying.
Pentultimate.
That too. Of Couladin dying by the hand of Matt. It never happens. It happened, but it never happened because we don't hear about it.
I didn't see it happen.
The forest fell in the tree and no one heard the noise, so did it happen? I mean, it's
they told us it happened.
Right, yeah. Matt
it must be true.
Briefly alludes to it in this fight, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, we've been waiting this entire time for Couladin to die. Everyone hates him, and we don't get it. Like, how disappointing.
The missing death of Kool-Aid Man?
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, no!
This guy's been a thorn in our side for a couple books.
Yes, yeah.
And then he's ingloriously bumped off, and we don't hear about it.
I know.
Now, I will say, the flip side to that coin is, it is kind of cool that you go into that chapter not knowing, and you got that whole great scene where they're building up, like Matt's looking at something. What the heck is he looking at? What is he talking about? What's going on here? What did we all just miss? So that's kind of neat. The mystery of it, it's kind of cool. I get that. But man, I want that battle.
Me too. Absolutely.
It would have been so cool. And that's my takeaway of my Willow moment.
Yeah, and
I don't
Matt's
understand-
recollection of it
the
also
benefit.
isn't great. Like, he doesn't remember it with very dramatic detail.
No, he was all of a sudden on him and he was fighting him. And,
He's I keep trying to get out of this, and then there was this dude.
yeah. Kool-Aid Man came in, he busted through a wall, and I killed him.
Yeah.
And then Melindra's happy about it.
That takes us to...
Yeah, she is very happy about it.
Yeah.
that takes
She's
us
got her
to
ooh squad.
Get Randy.
Let's not.
Let's talk about Rand.
What is your music that you're planning on in your background of your head right now when you say "Get Randy"?
I'm hearing "Bow Chicka Wow Wow."
Oh, I'm not hearing that at all.
Well, it fits with the wording.
I'm hearing boo doo 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 doo.
That definitely does not fit with the wording. I don't know what that is. It's like some weird Calliope thing.
No, that's is it 1918 and like
We're at the World's Fair.
I'm in a Fellini movie, Adam. Leave me alone.
France. Okay.
Not to be confused with Bellini the drink.
You can sort of confuse it with Bellini. They're both
A peach
good.
Bellini? Yeah.
Sure.
I'll have a strawberry or even a peach.
So Rand considers if this could have been avoided and eventually gives up the effort, concluding that maybe in the next stage with this choice, violence can be avoided.
Which choice?
With different choices.
Oh, okay.
Rand is already sort of throwing his hands
He's thrown in the
air.
towel. Yeah.
He's already gotten to the point where it's like he's sort of giving up. He's already just giving himself into the idea that death and destruction will follow.
Well, he's got a madman in his head, so that's the lesser sadness to deal with.
Despite our thoughts of Rand's arrogance, he begins this chapter thoughtfully considering if the upcoming battle could have been avoided. So, I mean,
we don't get much arrogance in these chapters.
Next time, perhaps to himself. Yeah, this is the first time we witness him demonstrate this sort of eternal perspective, and we're getting some humility
or just normalcy. Like he's just in the middle.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this also kind of a big battle? Well, no, I guess that happened.
Kind of a big battle?
No. I was saying, well, it's huge for the amount of distance that he completely drained himself, but he was also getting help from Avienda and Egwene there. But he had already gotten help from Moiraine in a different battle. So I was wondering if it was one of the first that he just got really helped by. No, that he did the opposite of that he fought with other people.
Okay.
I think Egwene and Avienda kind of talk about that. They can do enough, but like what he can do is so much greater than what they can do. So the destruction he's laying waste is like on a grander scale than what they're doing, even though they're helping. And I'm sure they helped quite a bit.
Yeah, they had rain and lightning.
Yeah.
Rand gets specific with the names we've already referenced.
Several times.
Yeah. But he says, I remember when he was first named the Destroyer of Hope after he betrayed the gates of Haven and carried the shadow down into the Rorn Mdoy. And the heart of Setel. Hope did seem to die that day.
What a great name
for an
gates? Enemy, the Destroyer of Hope.
Yeah.
That's just a specific battle?
It's a specific day. It's a specific event.
Was it a specific place?
Yeah.
Was it happening on that day?
Right, yes, yeah. At the end of the battle, Rand magnanimously says, "We've won," and Land reminds him, "You've won," which just sort of drives home
totally
the point of
completely
what he is.
Like he won completely. I think Land's got to be a little bit scared of Rand at this point, huh?
I think everyone's slightly worried. I mean, Matt's been worried for books and has let everybody know he's
worried.
Land's
scared of anybody. I mean, Land is sort of stupidly brave, isn't he?
I know, but I think Land at this point could be like, if I even tried to go up with swords against him, he probably would kill me. Who else could he look at that person like?
Yeah, I mean, he says that Rand is becoming a better and better swordsman.
Probably there'll be a battle that we won't hear about, though. We'll hear about it afterwards. He was a really great swordsman in that fight. He did amazing things.
I remember that Land.
He was
20
once a good swords at one time. He just had them floating around.
We mentioned that Rand thinks about starting something with Samael. He's been kind of antagonizing him through sending Wyraman to fight the pirates that Samael has sent to Tyr. There seems to be some sort of greater plan that Rand has for Samael. I'll be interested to see how that unfolds, but we seem to be on the cusp of it here. he's already thrown out the first couple of jabs, and we seem to be close to the actual real fight starting there.
It seems like he's going to head there.
He also seems to have thought that there was a chance that Matt would get away from Kyrian after all of this. When Matt shows up again, he seems a little surprised.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
he seems genuinely surprised that Matt didn't escape.
A little surprised that it's not.
But at the same time, he should know.
He also mentions he counts on him being around, but it seems like he thinks that maybe there's a slight chance Matt could have gotten away somehow, which I thought was weird.
Matt probably thought it was weird too.
He also still seems to be uncertain as to whether or not Asmodean meant to hurt or harm him, and as he trickled the one power into him as he lay dying.
Why would he even have enough power to harm him?
Because he was dying.
He was close to death.
He was uber weak.
Well,
It's that move that what's her face tried to use against Mogedion.
She's not.
You're very weak.
Leandrin.
Yeah.
Oh, Leandrin. Yeah. Then while shaving, Rand thinks to himself that dealing with the complexities of Avienda pales...
Did you just say men while shaving?
While.
Manuel was shaving.
Manuel was shaving.
Men while shaving sounds like an Australian pop group from the 80s.
Fairly certain that's not what he said, but that's pretty cool.
No.
We can shave when we want to.
We can leave your friend behind. Yeah.
No, while he's shaving, Rand muses to himself that dealing with the complexities of Avienda is far greater than the complexities of the politics that he has to navigate in Kyrian. What?
Yeah.
I know Avienda is complex, but no.
No.
Though she might kill you if you say something wrong.
Right,
so maybe
seriously.
I'm wrong.
She'll do one or the other.
Rand's wondering as he goes into the Kyrian as to who he can trust. And that seems like a central theme of this book. Rand constantly realizing that everyone has their own separate goals. And in some areas, those goals will conflict with each other. And so he can't really trust anyone.
Maybe that's the lesser sadness. It's the fact that... No, but like...
Yeah.
It's just like you're just saying. You got to trust somebody. Who do you trust? And the one person that's proven he can trust, for the most part, is slowly fading into the backdrop.
And now he's even worried if he can trust himself.
Well, yeah he is going crazy, so... Or is he?
Rand intends to move on to Samael of the Golden Bees!
The Golden Bees!
Golden Bees! I love it.
And that takes us to Matt. Take into the Matt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Matt's wondering what he's doing, even while he's rushing in to assist Wyraman. He's like, why am I doing this?
He's got to wonder.
Somebody stop me, please.
He's like, what can I do to get free of Rand? And the answer is nothing.
How have I gotten myself into this? He keeps thinking to himself, it all started so simply.
I was just getting ready to leave.
Kinda.
And then...
Kinda. It all started with a silver coin.
I just tried to teach those guys a hedgehog maneuver, and here I am.
Right. Started with the silver coin. Yeah.
He
did.
He thinks to himself, how have I gotten into this? It had all started so simply. That's Matt's biography.
It is.
That's the title of Matt's bio.
That's his thesis statement right there.
Oh, man.
Now how he got into it is he stole a dagger.
Right. Either that or no, it was he let the what was it? They let the hedgehogs. What did they let run loose on the feast day, and then ran through and Master Luhan's something or other. He and Rand and Perrin.
Oh, they did. Yeah, it was a bunch of hedgehogs or like a badger.
A badger. I think it was a badger. Yeah.
Yeah.
They ran through the field or something like that.
Matt's lured into this battle like one choice at a time, and
it's so good.
We're aware of what's happening the whole time, but he always becomes aware of it a second too late.
Right.
Even though he's always ahead of the battle, he's constantly behind his fate. Ooh,
yeah.
I rhyme.
He can't be ahead of his own mouth though. Like he just fires off.
Yes. He's ahead of the battle and behind his own mouth.
And the best part is he's protected by his association with Rand. Otherwise, everyone would probably lynch him, but they can't because...
I don't know. I think he would have found a way.
Oh, he probably would have. Let me rephrase that. They would have tried to do that.
Like,
they would have tried to do that.
So that's that pull.
The Taviran pull,
yes,
yeah.
That's that Taviran pull. but it starts to get really serious once the battle really starts to rage.
And those dice are
Well,
rolling.
it doesn't seem like there was any choice. There's just no choice for him. Do you feel like his entire future is just
Set?
already set?
Well, that's the thing he's fighting against.
I know. Yeah.
He's fighting against that determinism.
He's fighting against fate, but I mean, well, I feel like there's an element of that's true, but then he's deciding nudge.
Push.
He's trying to decide. I think there's part of that, but then part of that is he can work within the structures of what that is, and that's so you're going to roll the dice, and what's it going to come up when you roll it?
That's
it can come
Rand's
up with many
thinking,
different combinations
right?
of things.
Rand's thinking is I'll kind of operate within the parameters that this provides. Matt's like, I'm going to fight out of the parameters. What parameters?
And the parameters laugh.
Well, right,
So-
and they seem to keep hedging him in. I mean, while the battle is going on, he's trying to sneak away, and he's always sneaking right into
maybe I
the
could
heart
get
of the
another
battle.
way. Yeah,
He sneaks right into Kool-Aid Man.
and winning
No, he was
every
trying to hide
time.
behind the pikes, and he just got in.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. There's clearly going to be more of this. We've seen snippets of it. These are probably the greatest examples we've seen of his battle prowess.
Yeah. Well, not to mention this, it was right before it was our last podcast that he just walked into the tent with Rand.
Right, he laid out that whole fight strategy.
And then Rand's like, yeah.
And now he's doing it on the fly, like he's doing it
Yeah.
real life, real time. Super cool. This is another. So we got examples of Matt's superpower. This being it, before, and
his charm,
right,
beautiful charm.
Now we're seeing it in action. And I want more.
So he stumbles into
Of course you do, because you're the trickster.
He stumbles into Cool-It-In and thinks, all right, here we go. Time to roll the dice. This is going to be the biggest gamble I've ever made.
Time to lop your head off.
The biggest gamble Matt's ever made. He threw himself off of a bridge hundreds of feet in the air and landed on top of a gray man. Remember that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was hundreds of feet, but
it was way up there. Way up there.
I don't know they ever described that.
Yeah, it's way high up there. But
I'm just saying anything above 50, I don't want to jump from.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, 25.
I mean, that was a crazy risk. At least here he has a fighting chance. That was a pure gamble.
Yeah,
I feel like here he has no idea what is going on. He's just
he's reacting.
Just a live wire that's been set off, and he's just in battle mode. It's amazing.
Telemenes is slow to praise, but he's been praising Matt up and down. While
I like Telemenes. Telemenes is awesome.
They're all offering up like clothes for him at one point.
They're both arguing over who's gonna polish his boots.
Yeah, I got a servant that just does my shoelaces.
Right. Yeah.
Even while putting together his most daring battle plan, Matt is still trying to think of a way to get out.
Yep.
He's still trying to think of how to sneak off.
Seriously.
That's his.
And then when that fails, he's like, all right, let's just get blitzed. Heck with it. I can't escape Rand. I can't escape Melindra. I'm just getting loaded.
That takes us to discussing our heroines here in Full of Ship.
That's heroine with an E and ship with a P.
So these...
Do we have to talk about them?
These chapters are great.
Like this does not bode well for Jordan's writing of female characters, because none of them look really good right now. They look like just a bunch of... They are at each other's throats, arguing over the dumbest things. They're acting like children. All of them.
I think Brigitte is pretty funny.
Yeah, I was going to say that same thing.
She is, but even she's just goading Nynaeve all the time now.
Right, because it's so easy.
It's a bad look for all of them. They look like a bunch of cats in a sack. I mean, it's
they
ridiculous.
do, but I mean, at the same time, they're each dealing with their own thing, and I think I don't take it that it bodes not well for Jordan's portrayal of women. I think he's making a specific point. Let's look at Matt. Let's look at Matt and Rand and all them. They're all not stuck in a little room. They got space to breathe. They got space to move around. And Matt is still doing his nonsense, still being crazy, whatever. Rand is literally crazy. These two women, or three, when you throw Brigitte into it, are like in a 5x8 room with each other like all the time, and they're each dealing with their own
very
crap
true.
that they got to deal with. So, you know,
Also, one of
familiarity
them
breeds
happens to be
contempt.
naive.
So I think it could happen. I don't think it's a female thing.
No,
I think
no,
it's
no,
just
no,
a,
no.
you know,
No, it's specifically these characters thing.
right. Well, and these characters are
his
each
portrayal
Nynaeve is
of these
dealing
characters
with
that happen in these
her
seasons.
facts that she can't deal with Brigitte and how she screwed her out of her life.
Yeah.
Elaine is dealing with the fact that she's got, you know,
Kind of attracted to Tom.
she
Right.
well, she loves Rand. Rand's not there. Rand's,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she's getting these bits and pieces of reports from Egwene that aren't good, you know, about what's going on with Rand.
They didn't
And
even
she and
understand what
Nynaeve-
like Egwene was in their dreams, and they didn't even realize that she was in their dreams.
Right,
Like
right. She and
wholeheartedly.
Nynaeve are just
they didn't
at,
realize that she was actually in their dreams trying to communicate with them. Right.
They just
Yeah.
thought it was regular dreams. That's not good.
so they're
That's
each
stupid.
dealing with stuff, and of course Brigitte is dealing with the fact that she's been pulled out of her life also. So
Oh,
they're,
she's- probably
She's dealing
misses
with
it.
that pretty well.
she seems to be,
Probably- yeah, because
she
she's
seems to be-
entertained by all these dimwits.
but we don't
Right.
we don't get many snippets of Brigitte talking about herself, so it's hard to say.
No,
We see her
'Cause
actions.
she's like,
we don't see
"What's
her
the
moping
point of
around.
this?
Right.
All of them are talking about themselves."
Right.
She's too busy checking out what's his face.
There's no time for me to talk about me. All I ever do is listen to you talk about
Yeah,
you.
he's
Yeah.
just rubbing Heron's back or whatever that guy's name is.
No, the guy Uno.
Uno, yeah.
Yeah,
The guy with one eye.
Uno,
the
best
leering
guy.
eye. Yeah,
And then
Anyhow.
Nynaeve and Elaine are in a power struggle too.
yeah, yeah,
Because Nynaeve is always in a power struggle
the wisdom.
with everybody.
yeah.
She finally realizes, though, that she's not performing the tasks of the wisdom. She recognizes something we've known for chapters, if not
You're gonna want to
books.
be an Aes Sedai.
She finally confronts the fact that she's not performing that function of protecting the Emonds Fielders and hasn't for some time. All she's doing now is satisfying her revenge plot against Moiraine.
Yeah, how's that working for you?
Ugh. That's it. That's
Who
all
knows
she's
if
got to
that's
hang on
even-
to now.
yeah.
Those stories never end well, do they? The person whose sole purpose in life is revenge.
No, I don't
Not
think
usually.
so, because well,
Sometimes,
depends on where that movie's coming from, I
right?
suppose.
Yeah,
She's
who's
headed
directing
down
that
a
movie?
lonely road. She's like
How-
Django.
But
How
she's
do you
got
think
land.
what is that
Who's
movie
not there?
that's about getting your child going and getting Liam Neeson is in Taken?
Taken.
Taken.
Yeah. Is their relationship good at the end of that movie? Is his daughter, are they like, let's go out and like,
Let's
some
go
coffee.
Let's go to Chili's and have burgers.
no, that's right. No, you gotta get the
Well,
triple play.
And the third one, her mom dies, so that's a little
triple
rough
play.
to predict. So
yeah. Anyhow,
It seems Nynaeve's decision to ask two different men to secure her a ship wasn't a good idea.
I love it. I love it. That's so great. It just leads to the absolute decimation of a town.
What
boy.
other damage has Nynaeve's decisions wrought in this story?
It's so perfect that it was her too. It's like-
She, oh my gosh, she does. Oh, her stubbornness is such a problem.
Now, I will say this much though. I mean, much as everyone kind of was like, well, you should have thought of that, Nynaeve. I wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't have thought of the fact that this was going to lead to the absolute wanton destruction of a town just because she wanted a ship.
Well, first of all, people told her not even to go into the town. They said,
Well, Eric,
please
she's
don't
just
do
a
that.
She's just a small town girl.
right, but okay, they told the men not to do it, and the men went and did it too.
Yeah, and
all
they got
them.
beat. They got beat up.
Right, she didn't.
got beaten.
She just had to end up destroying a town.
Right.
That's all. They both did things they weren't supposed to do.
The problem with her, the problem that we as readers have with her is that,
Does that mean she's Taviran?
constantly telling other people to obey. It's her hypocrisy that's the issue. It's not so much,
Yeah.
though also now her stubbornness and her lack of willingness to take advice is creating problems. This isn't the first one by any means.
I mean, I'm not a Nynaeve defender, but I think there's an element of
No, but it's her hypocrisy that's the bigger
Defend it.
frustration. Is she's constantly complaining about the fact that others won't take advice, And she never takes advice from anyone. She always does what she wants.
Well, she's the wisdom. She's the one that gives advice.
She is going through it in terms of that, though. She has been this entire book.
She has been
Just
morphing.
psychologically
Yes.
speaking.
Yeah, hopefully
She's
she
aware
learns.
that she's like that.
Hopefully she learns from
What was that?
this
What was the
lesson.
oil she had to drink or whatever it is she had to do that she came in the dream with Egwene?
Oh, whatever that. Yeah, I don't remember what that herb is.
It wasn't fork root. It was something
No,
else.
it definitely wasn't fork root. Adam, who
The
was your
Iron Clasp
Coplin
of
of the
the Law.
week?
My Coplin of the week was Robert Jordan, and the fact that he makes his battles so short.
You think he makes his battles in general too short, or just
Yes, every
okay.
one of these battles is everything leading up to it is like, this is the time.
Now, that being said,
Interesting. Okay.
we do get a ton. This is the first time we do get a ton of battle. This is like the Battle of the
We get a
Bastards.
lot-
We
no,
actually
no.
get this battle.
No, we don't. We're not sitting inside of the battle. and
With
actually
Matt, we
seeing
are
us.
all the time.
Not really. No,
And
all you
Rand
see-
and-
all-
Rand
No, all
on
you
the
see-
platform.
he's there for like 3 minutes.
No,
the platform.
he's up there with Avienda. He's there blowing up. They're blowing up stuff with
Yeah,
lightning.
so
he's
that's
setting
what,
hills
4
on
of them
fire.
up there, and then
so Adam's
kills,
saying he
like,
wants Tolkien battles.
20,000.
Yeah.
No, Matt's was set up. And it was really impressive seeing what happened with Matt during that. But
You're
that
just
wasn't-
upset you didn't get the Cooladin battle.
I'm
that's
upset about that.
it. Yeah.
More than that, it's the same. It's the same thing that's happened a long time now. Is that he just skips over. We had an entire book that was about the 2 rivers and how they were getting ransacked, and everything was wrapped up in like a page.
Yes. I agree with you that he has done this a number of different times. I'm just saying it's funny that you bring it up now because this battle
We probably
because
got more
Matt,
of it than less.
We get tons of. That's all I'm saying.
You don't actually get tons of
Well,
what's
what
actually
I
happening
think what
with
you're
the
right.
fighting in
You're
the
you're
battle.
getting you're getting either memory of it or leading up to it, but the actual
Yes.
occurrences you're getting little bits of it, like the hedgehog. They're talking about that, and he gets into it, but then it stops.
Yeah,
because he's shifting over to somebody else.
It's like talking to Andy Reid before the game about what he's going to do, and then not watching the game.
There's no doubt that Jordan is not a battle writer. You don't get blood and guts from
Just
from
give me
any
a
of
little
these,
bit.
for sure.
Just give me a little bit.
Yeah,
He
you're
wants a
not-
little of the
I
barrel.
don't think you're gonna.
He did give us a little bit in terms of the dead that were in the city, I suppose.
Yeah, we were just talking about the
he
Where's
gives us
Waldo
a
of
little
Death.
bit because he's like, oh, here's Cooladin's head, and it's up on a
pike.
stake, But
My Coplin of the week was Nynaeve. Galad caused this war, but Nynaeve totally set it up. I get trying to cover your bases so that you're sure you get the ship that you're trying to procure. But Elaine told her repeatedly not to ask favors of Galad because you'll never know what you're going to get. And she reminds her of that. She's like, I told you not to do this because he's just going to go in and without any sort of sophistication whatsoever, with a blunt hand, create problems for you. And sure enough, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So for that, she's my Coplin of the week.
I get it. She's in the Hall of Fame.
She's
I think she
she's
might be the
headed
number
toward
one.
Rushmore for sure.
Hmm.
All right, Dave.
Mine is someone once removed.
The Onceler?
The Onceler, yes. Mine is Massima.
Ooh.
Because even though we don't really get him, we get him.
Massima.
Because his insanity is so strong,
It's causing
that-
problems.
and his insanity, his obsession with just everything anti-Rand, but it really isn't even about Rand with Massima anymore. It's about him. He's clearly got his own agenda or whatever it is that we want to say. He completely and utterly forgets about why he wanted the boat captured to begin with, and then just becomes this obsession for killing the White Cloaks, and everybody else. So the whole
When
town
do
is
we
also
last
decimated,
listen?
and it has nothing to really do with the boat. It has to do with the fact that there's White Cloaks there.
Yeah. And now he's not satisfied with simply getting rid of the White Cloaks from the area. He's going to go attack Amadisha.
Everybody. He's going to attack everybody that doesn't agree with him or see things the way he does.
And like we already discussed, cause problems for Rand.
Yeah, I mean, he's full on, every fry short of a Happy Meal. Like he is.
What a journey for this fellow.
It's
Oh, my
not been a
word.
good one.
Well,
He's
I mean,
come from
from
humble
where he
beginnings,
came,
being
from where he came to this point.
He came from being a defender and
A
holding
Rand
back the evil to
arguer.
being the evil.
He didn't like Rand at the beginning. He came
No.
from being somebody who was a Rand detractor to being, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he's a Rand supporter now or.
I don't think he would like the Rand that
there's
he
a
has,
term-
because
there's
the
a
Rand that
terminology for that.
the Rand
It's
that he envisioned is not the Rand that is in real life.
Yeah, he's made up his own Rand. He's created his own.
I think
idol.
he is his own Rand.
Yeah, he might be.
Who leveled up? Adam.
Pips.
Pips.
Pips. The horse.
The horse.
leveled
Yeah,
up
I
for
know.
me.
I know who Pips.
Of course,
is.
you would pick that. Next,
Why?
you're
Pips didn't reel at all.
gonna pick
Why?
Rand's sock.
Pips didn't reel at all.
Why
when the
did
lightning
Pips
bugs
level
struck
up?
and protected all the girls from getting hurt by Pips?
Okay.
Oh my gosh!
No, I'm kidding. Pips
Okay.
did not level up for me.
Because I just
Obviously,
wrote
it's
Pips
Matt.
down for you.
Are you
so.
kidding? Like, how is there any other? I mean, there could be others. Maybe you have different ones.
Oh
but
no,
Matt
I don't.
Definitely,
That's mine as well.
yeah. It's just a boss.
Yeah, we get some good Matt here for sure. This
I
is
love it.
so much fun.
I love it, especially because we were waiting for it for like a book and a half. We're like, Matt,
Yeah.
you're very annoying right now.
Right. Yes.
So
he
I'm hoping
was.
maybe Elaine and Nynaeve will have a book like this.
Oh, so do I. Oh, so do
I
I.
think
Or maybe
Elaine's
even
been pretty good,
the
though.
next couple of chapters.
That's very true.
You
It's
know?
very true. Things change in this world.
Please.
Things
Please
change in this
get
world.
past the cat fighting. Yeah.
Matt is just that's amazing. And it's incredible that
We
We're
should
just
all be
able-
so
we're-
lucky
we're
to
just
have
able
an
to see this.
encyclopedia's worth of battle knowledge shoved into our head by some snake people.
And be able to apply it in real time.
people.
Do you have anybody different, Dave?
As a matter of fact, I do. I'm going with the uncommon choice of Nynaeve, and here's why.
Uncommon, the new rapper?
Yeah.
I'd
So
love to hear this.
Nynaeve, I was talking about earlier about cats in a sack, kind of being contained in this
I
environment.
remember that sentence.
But think of also the fact she's also dealing with the men who don't listen to a word she says. Then she's got Valen Luca, who is
Got
like
propositioned.
a horn dog just all over her, like
Yeah,
at
but-
any given moment.
Dave.
She's-
That cat though, man.
She's juggling a lot, and I liked the fact that she came out of all this recognizing to a degree, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best of choices. And at the same time, I do like continually seeing her gradual shift. She thanked, even though she hated doing it, she thanked Brigitte for, the great arrow shots she did. She looked out for the people on the dock. She was concerned and considerate about the welfare of the other people, so much so that she bullied, yet another
Nynaeve?
annoying ship captain. Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
Elaine did that.
Nope, it was Nynaeve. So we're seeing
It was Nynaeve.
we're seeing examples of her getting beyond herself more and more.
Yes.
And it's buried in the detritus of
Robert Jordan's
her
relationship
arguing
with the
and
females.
her attitude that she deals with, the nonsense she does. But we are consistently getting more and more humility. We're consistently getting more and more
It's true.
thoughtfulness and awareness. And I'm just hoping it doesn't just all of a sudden just drop off at some given point and you're like,
Fall
no,
off a
you've
cliff."
plateaued. That's
Right,
it. That's
yeah.
all you're going to get. So I think it's a positive, encouraging sign for her character development.
I
Yeah.
love hearing that, Dave.
Like most people, she's not all good or all bad. She's a complex character.
She's a whole lot of annoyance.
But she is
with
moving.
yeah.
Like
Just
we're
mostly
seeing in
bad
Rand.
conversation.
She's growing, yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of episode 44. Join us
Wow.
for episode 45 when we finish the book, chapters 49 through 56. So until then, may you rest in the Creator's hand.
May you know good hunting, young bull, and cheese to give you many cubs.
Doviende se tovias again.